Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, The Good Brothers are back. It's Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado. We are The Good Brothers, and we're here to talk everything pulp culture and more. Mike, say hello to the audience.
What is going on, good brother? Thank you for being here this week after a long competition weekend.
I always have long competition weekend, and so this was a small one too. So it was right in Rosemont. So
Very nice.
Nothing really to talk
Yeah,
about.
right around the
They did great,
around the block. That's awesome. Yeah. We've had a big weekend in pop culture, movies, and of course wrestling. Why don't we get into probably the biggest thing that woke us up? Just started this intense internet fury. Alex.
All right, well, let's start with a story here. So Mike woke me up because the Infinity War trailer came out early.
The second one. Is this
second
official? So what was the first one? Was that a teaser?
I guess it's a teaser, even though it was like 2 minutes.
And this is
but
like the official?
whatever.
Yeah.
The second anything came out for it, and he texted me in the morning. And Mike, when he gets excited, turns into a little child. He gets very excited. We both do it.
I get very excited.
We're getting very getting messages, like breaking down. I'm like, calm down, take a nap, drink a cup of coffee. I'm like, I'm going to watch it. And I'll talk to you later because you're too excited right now and you're hyping me up too much. Yeah. So I watch it. I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting there all day. And then I watch it again. And if I text him, I'm like, yeah, it was pretty fucking amazing.
It was pretty amazing. And this is the one thing that I was looking out for when I was looking for the trailer. I went on Twitter and I'm looking through it and I knew the trailer was coming out. So my first reaction was, let me find out if the general reaction is they gave up too much. That was the only thing I was looking at in any review or reaction is, Did they, I guess, spoil some of the movie? And I never got that sense as I was looking through it. So I went on and I found the official Marvel link and I looked up the trailer and I watched it. And I'll be honest with you, I do not think, as far as we know, I think in general, if you know where this movie is going and if you've been part of the journey, you know where we're going to end.
I feel like you're covering for it right now, and like you're a hardcore nerd like me, dude. You already know half the movie.
I know that.
So admit that. Just admit that.
But I knew half the movie before we with the first teaser trailer. Like I
that's fine. But like I want you to admit, like, did they spoil anything for general audience? Not even close.
No.
Not even close. For the hardcore audience, they gave away a lot of stuff.
But
like
okay,
you can basically break down the movie.
But here, okay, did you not know that there was going to be a fight at Wakanda?
Not necessarily the way it's set up. I thought it was more of an attack. No, this is a war in Wakanda.
No, yeah, it's a war in Wakanda.
But now you can kind of start separating scenes. Now you can kind of tell where everything's like scene 1, scene 2, scene 3.
Theoretically, but like
now you know. Now you know. Spoiler: Vision's gonna die. Like they basically show him dying in the movie. Doctor Strange gets caught. Like they kind of give away a lot as a nerd. Where like, oh, there's his stone.
It's a 2-minute trailer. We know it's a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. We have no idea, essentially, if New York is the last fight, if Wakanda's the last fight. We have no idea if Wakanda starts it off, and that's how we get everybody
I think
to New York.
starts
we
it
know
off.
if New York starts
you see Peter Parker on the bus without a Spider-Man suit. That's obviously going to start the movie.
I mean, we can assume
and that's when the Guardians come, and then you go to Wakanda, then you go to space.
Unless Wakanda was the first battle, because everybody we see on Wakanda is pretty much part of what's going on in Wakanda.
Oh, I get it, but it's not the first battle. I guarantee that's like in the middle because they have their suits.
We assume. We're acting like wrestling fans. Like we think we know what's going to happen without really knowing it.
So if I end up being 100% right, like
that's fine. Then you guessed it correctly, but we don't know.
Like I said, you're thinking about it as a common fan. Like no, like all you know is they did a great job. Like you said, it's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
they didn't give away anything. As a nerd, I always kind of tell myself, I don't want to. That's why I say I'm like, I kind of don't want to watch the trailer because now I know doesn't make it any worse or better. I'm just saying I can give you this movie right now. I can do it on the show a week before the movie comes out, and I guarantee I'm going to be right. I'll bet on that.
That's fine, but I would say the one thing that you said that was true was you don't necessarily need to watch this trailer if the first one already brought you in.
You don't have to watch. Technically, in the world, you don't have to watch any trailer
because you're going to be in or
you're
not.
You're going to watch if you're going to watch. Yeah.
So I Look, I think you and I have been much able to figure out the movie in general because we've watched enough of these. We know what the premise is, but like the average fan doesn't know where this
like
ends.
I said, the trailers have been great.
Yeah,
that last scene with Captain America, like how does that
everything.
not give you chills? You're like, oh my god,
it's everything.
Like I am so patriotic right now. I'm gonna go do something cool.
Yeah, and
I didn't, but like I would.
But like, and I think they do a great job of showing the Infinity Gauntlet. When Cap is holding it as Thanos is attacking him, the one thing that I think is throwing people off is that he only has 2 Infinity Stones. But I'd argue that just like any other of these Marvel movies where they've done good CGI, I bet you he has more than 2 Infinity Stones already. I think that with the previews, they've just like for the longest time with with Thor's eye. I think a lot of this is CGI has been taken away, just like Spider-Man in Civil War. I bet you he has more than 2 Infinity Stones. I bet you that's later in the movie. I bet you that scene is very much later in the movie already.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that scene is where he dies. If he dies.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. Because I'm going to say this right now. The only one that's dying is Vision.
With Tony Stark, I think Tony Stark.
In this first movie, Vision's the only one that dies.
I think Tony's the one thing, the red herring about Tony Stark is there's a scene where you see him holding his, like clenching his fist by his lips, like if he was.
So Pepper, maybe.
I think that's him being transformed into whatever prison that they're sending everybody to. I think they're going to be picked off one by one, and I don't think they're going to kill anybody. I think Vision is the only one who might die because of
he has to die
because
they take off
the Infinity Stone. But I think they're all going to get captured one by one and be in their own prison, essentially.
I could see, I could see the movie ending with all like the Vision of them all just like destroyed and beaten up. I could see the movie ending there.
That would be amazing.
Because remember,
365 later,
if you watch the cartoon or the comics, that scene's not technically real. That's Thanos in their heads with the headstone, making them visualize that. Like they're actually not hurt or dead, but he's putting it in their head like it is. And he does one where he gets captured and they think they won, but they're still under the spell. So like it's gonna be very trippy. Like I'm telling you, and I don't think Marvel is gonna pull something out of nowhere where you're like, I didn't see that coming. I think everything's gonna be like, saw it coming, still amazing. That doesn't mean it's worse or better just because you see something coming.
What I think eventually is gonna happen is at the end of this movie, you're gonna have a group of them being captured, somebody dead, and the movie is gonna leave you with kind of like the Empire where our good guys have lost, but they're regrouping, and we know
like they're not dead.
They're not dead. We're going,
but now we know what we got to do.
We got to go get the rest of them. Whether it's Cap, it's like I got to go get Tony, or if it's Tony saying I got to go get Cap, then this is the one thing the trailer did. There's so many possibilities. Like you and I, again, we think we know everything, but we have no idea. We have no idea if Captain Marvel shows up.
Not to the second one,
maybe. But again, like. This movie has
been
in production
for
so long.
Nope,
and
I know.
Anything can happen. Like the movie.
Mike, I know everything.
You assume you do, but we'll find out more.
I haven't been wrong on the show yet, man.
Well,
here's a funny story to get us to our next topic.
Yes.
Is Mike had to explain to me what trending was.
Yes.
So, because I always thought trending meant the most tweets. Mm-hmm. And then Mike was like, no, like, you idiot. Like, trending means, like, what's the most traffic? And I'm like, he gave me a great example. He's like on Christmas. Christmas is going to get the most tweets. But if a celebrity dies or a celebrity scandal happens, I'm like, oh, that actually is perfect. Like, now I totally get what you mean.
So, it just so happened that a little news broke on the first day of spring that a certain 4-time champion is going to make his triumphal return in the same stadium that he solidified himself as maybe the biggest superstar of his generation. Daniel Bryan is back.
The American Dragon, the beard.
The GOAT, the man, the Yes Movement is back in WWE. And one of the coolest, not just wrestling stories, but one of the coolest stories, if you're a fan of entertainment, pop culture, sports, somebody being told, your brain is broken, you can't do this, and for 2 years, you fight every single day, go to different doctors, try to get different diagnoses, different treatments, to culminate into a possible WrestleMania match against two of the biggest stars in the company with, the son of the guy
the heir to the throne,
who owns everything, and at one point didn't believe in you, and then all of a sudden gave you the ball to run with.
Like, it's amazing. It's one of those great stories. He dropped a great promo last night. Like, Daniel Bryan's never had a bad promo, and like you're just like, man, that is so real, and that's why guys like him and CM Punk like.
Resignated.
You look back at it, and I'm like, I stopped watching wrestling from probably like 2004 to like 2013. And then I was in college, and the week before, like 2 weeks before Nationals, they told us we're all grounded, which isn't a punishment. It's I don't want anyone going out drinking. I don't want anyone doing anything stupid. Like, we have Nationals coming up. So obviously you're bored. You're watching a lot of TV, watching a lot of movies. I started watching wrestling again. And I had just missed CM Punk, but I had just caught on for Daniel Bryan getting screwed at SummerSlam. And this is even before the network. This is where you got to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, because the first network event was WrestleMania 30, so it was leading into that. Like, it was that SummerSlam was the route to WrestleMania.
Like, it literally got him all the way to the Rumble with the Wyatt rivalry, and it brought me back because I'm like, dude, this guy's real. Like, this guy's a real dude dropping real promos, and he's really good.
And throwing down awesome matches with the biggest guys in the company.
And, like, every time wrestling goes through that generation gap where it's like, you start looking back, you're like, you know, as much as I even loved, like, Edge and Randy Orton and Triple H, I'm like, they were still characters. Yeah. Daniel Bryan's not a character. That's Daniel Bryan. Like, when he
just
talks to us, like, he's just Daniel Bryan. Yeah. And I don't even think, like, it turned to a 10, but he's living an 8 or 9. Maybe. So you're not even turning it up that much. So, like, his promo was great. Like, how hyped did you get seeing him fight back?
Oh, that first of all, that beatdown was phenomenal. And this is back.
I love they gave him his offense. He does his runnings. I'm like, oh, my God. I even texted you. I'm like, I have not been that hyped watching wrestling in the last, like, 2 or 3 years, even since the Shield, I guess, or Daniel Bryan.
And this is what it comes down to is this is a character and a guy that was not, and I hate using the term because it's such a internet smart type of thing, but this is the guy who was not pushed. It's like the Shield have been pushed.
Yes.
Braun Strowman has been pushed. Bray Wyatt has been pushed. Daniel Bryan was not pushed. What happened is the talent and the fandom was too big to ignore.
He forced it. Like, he forced it. And not like Zack Ryder sort of forced. Like, it was a real, like,
it was a natural.
But
it was backed up too because it wasn't just like, oh, I don't want to single him out, but let's say a character like Ty Dillinger. He's got the 10. It's a great gimmick. It's a great thing for fan interaction. The difference is not only did Daniel Bryan have a simple yes and a no chant, but he could throw promos down. He could wrestle. He's professional.
He can go big. He can go small.
He's not going to get caught up in a drug scandal. He's not going to get caught up in a sexual scandal. And he's not going to get caught up in injuries that were not, brain related, for God's sake.
But I think everyone can relate to the whole, like, being told, like, you're a B-plus player.
And that was,
like,
that resonated.
Like, I love it because everyone can relate to, like, hey, you're good. But you're not it. But you're good. You're great. Like, you're right there. But you're not it. And I think everyone can relate to that in life, being like, I've been told that I'm not great or good. I've been told that before, and still coming out being like, no, I'm going to make myself the A-list player. And I think everyone can relate that. Like, you're a solid, C+, Mike. Yeah, I'm obviously an A, but you're a B, C-.
I get you through. Yeah, I'll
maybe
pass
a D.
C's get degrees. Sure.
Okay, probably a D then.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, you can relate to that.
Yeah, a little bit. But, like, I think at the end of the day, what happened was the fans got a treat that I don't think they ever thought they would really get. And I think that's what this comes down to is we've been talking about it. The storyline was Daniel Bryan was going to have a match at WrestleMania. They were building to this. Do I know whether or not they knew for sure Daniel Bryan was going to get cleared? No. But I texted you this. This has been in the works for a while. There's always been little nuggets. Yeah, for 2 years, but there's been little nuggets that have been like, oh, maybe. And it went from, for sure, he's going to work for Ring of Honor in 2 years to, you know what? There has been enough technology movement in the CTE world where we could find out a little bit more if somebody's in danger for certain things.
I never thought he was actually going to. I'm like, WWE is going to make sure that's why they hired him. They're like, we're going to keep you, and we're going to find a way to get you cleared. Because if you're coming back, it's going to be with us. We're not going to let you go to Ring of Honor in New Japan and make that big thing like Jericho did.
Yeah, we're not going to let you become the biggest star in the world. Yeah,
you're ours now. Like,
Daniel Bryan
you're
is
our
star.
creation,
Yeah.
quote unquote. Yeah. Like, we kept you.
Bryan Danielson will not main event the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom 15.
Not in the next 5 years.
Yeah. So let's go into future booking though. So we have an idea of what
I
this
say he's
WrestleMania
giving the
is.
championship.
Does he win a championship? Do
SummerSlam.
they capitalize on it?
SummerSlam.
Because here's the thing: they did it to Hogan without planning on it.
I think it's
they
SummerSlam.
Did it for Hogan.
I think SummerSlam. Like, he's going to win
Goldberg.
this. He kind of enters back because they're going to do a story of like, okay, now I'm going to sign as just. Because managers, this goes back, like, every WWE super, like, Shawn Michaels was a manager. Stone Cold was the manager.
General manager,
like,
Ric Flair.
Kurt Angle, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's always done, like, the whole, I'm a manager. Oh, wait. okay, now I'm going to sign my contract to be a wrestler again, and Shane is going to be the manager. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can already tell they're setting it up, and it's probably going to go back to Shinsuke, Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam, because I think Shinsuke holds it till then.
Okay.
And then I think Daniel Bryan takes it there. You might do a triple threat with AJ and Shinsuke leading down the road. We got to see where the shakeup happens. They might say, you know what? We're putting him on Raw.
The match everybody knows.
Hey, we need to put him on Raw because he's the only one realistic that can beat Roman Reigns, and we can be like, hey, it makes sense, and he's big enough.
Trade off. I will say the one match that doesn't have title implications that I think is probably the most emotional people want to see, though, is obviously The Miz. Like, that first...
That's what I'm saying. I could see him going back to Raw, like maybe doing an IC title run because he never lost it, technically.
I think he'll get one title run as the main champion, and one of the two main champions.
Just to see where it goes. And if it's as big as I think it's going to be, then he's going to have it.
But if it, let's say everything is even. Let's say it doesn't get too high or too low. Let's say it just stays at a nice, even course. I think it's the one title, and then I think he becomes the Kurt Angle of one of the brands, where he's a special match, he's a special attraction. You might get him thrown in every once in a while, but he's going to be a guy that we need a ratings boost. Neville doesn't have a guy? Give him to Daniel Bryan.
See, no, I think he's going to go back like almost full time. Like I could see at least this next year, like I said, by SummerSlam, he's going to be WWE champion. I think he goes to Raw. Because he's the only one. Because look at Roman Reigns wins the title.
I agree with that.
Who can be Roman Reigns besides Finn Balor, really? Like,
I think
that makes sense. Or Braun Strowman-ish. But he's beaten all these guys. Daniel Bryan's the only one that you're like, I've seen Daniel Bryan beat Roman Reigns. And, like, he's
beaten Triple H.
And let's be honest,
like, the same night. Yeah,
he's bigger than all the other guys. He's bigger than Seth Rollins, bigger than Dean Ambrose, bigger than Finn.
Oh, he's right away. Like, with that announcement, he's the second, if not the biggest star, named John Cena.
He's the biggest male star right now.
Yeah, but I would say still John Cena's the guy.
John Cena's more leaning towards the out thing, like The Rock, but like obviously beside Ronda Rousey, like this is the only thing to trend worldwide.
This is the guy
for WWE in a long time that wasn't Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I think what happened with this move is, and I'm a big Dean Ambrose mark, but what happened is there's always felt like there's been a slot missing in the whole roster. AJ filled one of those.
Yeah.
Roman has obviously filling one. Braun has his. The Shield guys. Everybody has one. But there's always kind of something
no realistic baby face, I feel like. Because AJ's real.
Yeah.
So he's good. That's what you're missing on Raw. Because like Seth and Dean, they kind of became characters. And you're kind of like, I like them.
Though.
And Finn could have been it, but they didn't push him enough.
No.
And now I'm kind of over it.
Because of the injury. And
I get it, but
happened at the wrong time.
Because they tried, and he's realistic babyface. You're like, I believe it.
Yeah.
And he's got the gimmick. But now you're like, yeah, I'm over it.
At what point is it going to happen?
Yeah.
Is it ever going to happen?
You're like, they don't want to push this guy. And I think he'll win the IC title, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Or Miz retains, but I think it's going to be Finn.
It's almost a handicap to win that if you're not the Miz. Anybody but the Miz, that IC title, and again.
But that's why I could see Miz winning it, because they're like, no, he's the greatest IC champion of all time.
You got to let him have it.
He's got to be a heel.
Because if you're not going to give him the big title, then you got to give him that one so that
because he's not going to win the big title. I don't think he'll ever. Actually, I could see him maybe.
Oh, he'll win one more time.
The problem is because we got to get over the whole Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns era.
That's and then again, right there.
But guess who's next line? Braun Strowman still needs to win that title.
Okay,
and then how are you going to be Braun?
I'm okay. I know. I'm okay with going through eras. I think. Honestly, the last 4 years have been an amazing era of Brock.
I feel like the last year and a half of Goldberg, Reigns, and
sure, it's slowed down.
I think now we're kind of like, you know what, we're ready. Like it's coming to an end. Let Roman win his title.
But Roman's
and then I'm ready to be over it by SummerSlam.
Roman does still have we have seen the Finn and Braun and Seth stuff, but this is a new stage of Roman Reigns, a new character that he's had in the evolution of his character.
6 more months. So maybe 6 more. That's fine.
So, exactly.
Because Braun's about to win his first title,
Braun still needs to win one. Finn
he's going to win it. He's going to win the tag, and I'm betting it's Elias.
Joe needs to get one. There's still a couple guys who
Joe's like Finn, though. Joe got to stay healthy, because if Joe don't stay healthy, it's like, dude, they try pushing you. They brought you in with Triple H.
I'm pretty close to saying it's either Joe or Cass that wins the Andre the Giant.
I haven't heard much about them, which usually means hey, they're not going to tell you anything because they're going to surprise you.
Yeah.
Because we heard rumblings about Jeff Hardy and he showed up at the Nation.
So
obviously that's going to be a tag team going forward.
I honestly do think one of those two guys is going to win it.
I think you got to send them to SmackDown eventually, though.
Oh yeah, no, you guys
Authors of Pain are going to come up,
yeah,
and they're going to beat Braun eventually and Elias.
Yes.
But like, you gotta send someone to SmackDown because New Day, and you gotta send either Usos or New Day back to Raw.
I would love to see New Day
because obviously Bludgeon Brothers are gonna win.
Yeah,
that's the thing right there. That's a passing.
And I think Shelton and Gable are kind of in the back burner right now. But that's the team that they're kind of.
That one they kind of like Finn and Joe, like they just didn't push them the way they should.
Like,
they had the chance a few months. They're like, give them the title for a few months.
This is the one thing that nobody ever likes to mention about it, WWE. It's like you got to think about the way they think about it. It's not that they're not pushing them; it's that sometimes I think they're like, "Cool, we've pushed them enough. They have enough popularity. If we put them back here, we could always just bring them back." They did it with Dean Ambrose for 2 years.
What was that great McMahon quote that you heard on the Bruce Wayne show? It's like, wow, that was a great pop. He's like, yeah, I really hope he can get over.
That's it. A great pop is one thing.
Maybe that was the problem
over
with them. It's like maybe with the general audience, Shelton Benjamin and Jay Gable weren't getting over. Because American Alpha barely got over. Honestly, let's be like. They didn't hit that next level.
And NXT
so why would 2.0 version with an older man get over?
And I always say like just
they got a lot of injuries.
Yeah, and just because I love NXT doesn't mean that NXT over makes you WWE over.
Like sometimes it does.
Sure, if it rolls over, if your name is Finn Balor, Shinsuke, like the big guys.
Aleister Black is gonna be over.
I think Adam Cole is the cream of that crop. Like Adam Cole is the 28 years old. I can't wait to see Cien Almas get up there.
He's Hispanic. That always helps.
Yeah.
Aleister Black is different. That always.
Killian Dane.
Oh
my God,
is my favorite.
Just how the big bruiser that he is.
Isn't it be funny that like most
Velveteen
likely
Dream is
like
so
the
good.
entire I don't think he'll make it on the.
Well, that's different, but I like what he is.
See, like I'm talking about guys I think will make it on the main roster. I don't think.
So do you put him close to Adam Rose?
But I think he's gonna Adam Rose or Tyler Breeze it.
And I think Tyler Breeze is so good.
Big Tyler Breeze was. We're like, wow, this guy's
so good.
And now we're like. I don't think those characters really develop on the main roster as much as we want them to.
I didn't think Sami Zayn would, though, either. And, like, they found the way. They can go heel.
Really, though?
Going heel, he did. I mean, dude, the work they're doing right now is amazing.
But, like, look at his, like, record right now. It's like how many – he hasn't held any real titles.
No, but
he really hasn't done anything. Like, in, like, 4 years, 3 years now since he's been up. 2 years.
He's only been up for about 2 years.
Like that's a long time.
But you got to think about how many.
Kevin Owens won right away. Finn Balor won right away.
But there's also
Samoa Joe would have if he didn't get hurt.
But you got to keep in mind WWE's mentality. It's like sometimes they don't think it's that time or it's their moment. It's the same reason why we haven't seen. It's the same reason we're at Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar because this is what it is at this moment.
It's also been like a 4-year plan.
That's the thing, though. It's like sometimes it's just not your turn. It took them a few years to be like, oh, cool, we know what we're going to do with Sammy. And you know what? Once they figured out what they wanted to do, they're going full out with it. Like, you got to give WWE credit with that. It's when they finally choose to do something, they do go, and if it's working, they go full balls deep in it. The question is if it's working.
I think he'll be forgotten.
Who?
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn will win the championship before 2019 is over.
No.
Okay,
Wrong.
That's a show bet right there.
Wrong.
2019.
Wait, the championship or a championship?
No, one of the two main. So the WWE championship because that's a new workers title.
So like, we're not talking U.S. or
No,
Intercontinental.
the black AJ Styles WWE championship.
Right now. No, he won't.
Okay,
nope.
2019.
Too many guys in front of him.
I'll tell you.
Kevin Owens wins it again before that happens.
Shinsuke Nakamura, Daniel Bryan. Who else is ahead of him for that title?
We don't know who they're. First of all, we don't know who they're bringing up.
We don't know who the super shakeups. But what I'm saying is,
like Braun's gonna have a title before Sammy. Daniel will have a title before Sammy. Finn will have a title for
2 titles.
Dean Ambrose, the way he comes back, the Miz might.
This is where
we don't know how they're gonna bring back Big Cass or Samoa Joe.
This is where the question.
Those are the injuries.
This is where it all comes down to, though. Is WWE, even though it's a babyface market, puts its titles on heels. Because the babyface needs to overcome.
Big Cass, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman.
That's 3.
The Miz.
There's 2 titles. And
Dean Ambrose is coming back heel. We know that.
In the next 16 months, the title can be switched 10 times.
Jordan comes back heel. If he gets that big heel push for Kurt Angle, that could boom.
No. The fact that you can say Jason Jordan is going to win a WWE championship or a Universal title before Sami Zayn. Alex,
what if
the
they bring
main event?
Killian Dane comes up or Almas comes up.
Listen, argue all you want, contrary all you want. This is what's fact. In the last 3 weeks, the main event of SmackDown has been Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. The main point, the storyline, in a 6-man championship match that had AJ Styles and John Cena was Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. The main story after Daniel Bryan makes his triumphant return is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens destroying him. Kevin Owens headbutts Vince McMahon to get him into a Hell in a Cell with Shane. The main moment of that match is Sami Zayn picking him off the table as he drops in there.
I know you want to believe it. It's not going to happen.
I just told you why.
What happens at – okay, but let's look at it future. Obviously, Daniel Bryan, Shane win at WrestleMania. Obviously. Mm-hmm. What happens day after now? Because obviously,
say that again.
What happens after?
Where we at?
After WrestleMania.
Okay, so we're on
Sami Zayn,
the
Kevin
Raw
Owens
after
now.
the Raw after WrestleMania. There will not be any SmackDown guys.
So
on
SmackDown after WrestleMania.
So the SmackDown after that, you might get a championship type of like tournament or a way where we're gonna get to the main title. And if everything being equal, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will still be your two main heels, which means Shinsuke has to eventually, after we get through the AJ story, because that's what you have to take into mind, is AJ still going to have his storyline.
And now Daniel Bryan's back.
So now, yeah, that's fine. So now we're in Money in the Bank. So with Money in the Bank right there, who is the most likely heel?
Bobby Roode too?
Who's most likely the main heel? Because that's a heel gimmick. Who's the most likely heel to win that?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens can win the title without it. That's what we've learned. That Kevin Owens don't need a Money in the Bank. He doesn't need that gimmick.
But that can give him a gimmick for a lot of 6 months.
The slimy heel is going to be Sami Zayn.
So like make a real bet then. Like
Sami Zayn wins Money in the Bank this year.
Okay, we're betting on the show. What are we betting? Something good. I want something juicy here.
Okay.
Something good, but not this.
We'll come up with it and we'll put it on next week's show.
No, we come up with it now live because nothing like crazy money because we're poor. That's different.
I don't know. What do you want? What gimmick do we have?
Okay. When's our Cubs game? It's after Money in the Bank, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I got a few of them.
Okay. So the loser has to buy all the food and beer at that Cubs game.
I agree. Okay.
Deal? Okay,
right,
so all the beer. Cool. They have to pay all the beer I want. And Mike knows I drink a lot of beer. And those are $9 beers.
If a competitor gets, what's your, so you have the field.
No, you're the confident one. You think it's Sami Zayn. It's not Sami Zayn.
Let's go with it. All right, cool. So that's Mike, the bet.
This isn't my normal colored cord either. I've been thinking about it for like 30 minutes.
That's your blue one, yeah.
This isn't my Batman cup.
No, it's in your it's in the home studio.
All right.
But all in all, though, I think it's gonna be very fun to see where we go with it.
Now we can actually have fun talking about this stuff again.
Because it could go any other way.
Because it was very dry for like 6 months.
And like to be honest with you, it's always dry before WrestleMania, and then like the 3 months after Mania,
Rumble.
Really cool. It comes and goes.
Like Rumble was hyped.
But like that, it's like a TV show. It comes and goes. It's on 52 weeks a year, twice. It's over 100 episodes. It goes up and down so much that sometimes you hit gold and you get special moments. Sometimes you get, the Hardy deletion match that main events, which was fun, but it's like
it's actually not bad.
Raw doesn't end like that. That's not how Raw's supposed to end. It's Impact's.
I like that they went different.
I loved it. I thought it was so much fun.
Speaking of ratings, here's my Walking Dead review. It was actually a pretty good episode this week. It was a lot of Jeffrey D. Morgan and Rick Grimes. I heard. It was really good, actually. Like, it was actually a really good. They introduced new characters. I'm like, man, I kind of like this episode. I didn't fall asleep. I watched all the way through. I listened dialogue. So this week's Walking Dead is getting it up.
This is what, and for anybody wondering, it's again, my problem with it is they're introducing a very important group of people from the comics, and like you can already tell
the modern comics. Like they're skipping a lot of other characters and going right to them.
Kind of have to though because they've already kind of just. You kind of just ignored the comics at this point already.
Then I think at this point, go with it. Like, just right into it. Like,
I will say this. I'm not going to finish off this season.
Boo.
I will jump in back next season after I catch up during the off season. My hope is that it finishes strong, that they get their shit together behind the scenes, that the new showrunners realize that, hey, just because we have a golden goose doesn't mean the goose doesn't die eventually. So we better start getting some nice eggs out of this shit. So I want some good storylines. I don't need any more drag out stories. You could put two main storylines. How in the hell can you do it in a Daredevil and a Punisher where you have two main storylines in 13 episodes and you got to give me the same dragged out bullshit for 23 episodes?
All right, calm down there, Copernicus. One is Netflix. It's a big difference. That's like saying how come HBO can do something but FX can't.
No,
come on,
you should give me two main storylines in every season of Walking Dead.
Ratings are still high. They may be
I'm
lower
not hating on the
ratings.
ratings. I'm saying what I would want to see. I'm just saying what I want to see.
That's like saying WWE. Why not do what I want you to do? Well, you're still paying for it.
Sometimes it does happen, and they have the greatest moments and greatest times that you have.
It's like exactly like WWE, like very similar topic. Like they're like, hey, we'll give you one good pay-per-view, and you're going to be right back into it. So shut the hell up. If I give you 4 weeks of garbage, you're going to eat that garbage.
When Coral's
death
doesn't get you in, Coral's death doesn't get you in, then
the ratings are back up this week because of a Negan Rick flaming baseball bat with disease.
Yeah, it's going to backfire and bite Negan in the ass. Like we already see how it's going to come back
around.
It
was so good.
Yeah,
it was actually really good. The dialogue was great.
But we'll see. Again, I never root for a show to be bad. So like, let's hope that
I
it
feel
comes
like
on.
you're kind of rooting for it to be bad.
No, I want it to be good because you know what? I need something that's going to lead me into Game of Thrones next year. So I need a good season in October.
That's like 6 years away, Mike.
Yeah, I know. Don't even. I know.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves.
All right, Alex, something else that happened this weekend that I really wanted to get your opinion on while you were gone. Tomb Raider came out. You and I haven't gotten a chance to go see it. We might check it out. Yeah, we're not going
to lie to you. We're not critics like that. Yeah. We don't see movies that we don't want to see. That's why we're the Good Brothers. We're not. I love Collider. I love Screen Junkies. I love all these things. We're not dumb because we don't see movies we don't want to see. We're John Schnepp fans. Yeah. If it doesn't look good, if I don't want to see it, if it gets bad reviews, I'm not going. Sorry. Pacific Rim, terrible reviews, not going to see it.
And I may love John Boyega, Alicia Vikander. I may love all these people.
Will we see it on HBO one day?
Sure.
Of course. Our time is pointless, so we don't care about that. It's the money. It's the going to the theater, buying the popcorn. I'm not going to do it for a movie that's not either honestly coming up. Ready Player One.
I'm so excited for that.
A Quiet Place.
So excited.
And there was one other one that I possibly wanted to see, and I can't remember. I want to see
Thoroughbreds.
No, that wasn't it. Oh my God, what was it? I'll think about it. It'll come to my head. But there was another one I kind of wanted to see coming up.
So one of our friends of the show, Death by Film, they do a pack. Matt Cazalacio actually tweeted this out on our main thing in Pauly. They mentioned that have we ever had a good video game movie? Now, before you go into your thing, because you had a great response when I texted you this, I will say film is subjective.
Yep.
So, Alex, you texted me something very profound. You're like, hey, what are we talking about?
Are we talking about good movie? Or are we talking about it was successful? Or are we talking about it was notable? Because I'm in that big coach where I'm like, I love the Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
I love them. I think those are the best.
Annihilation is garbage, but Mortal Kombat's good.
The original Mortal Kombat.
The original Kombat's good.
And I even like Annihilation a little bit because how bad it is.
That dragon
scene
at the end
was
was
how
so
bad it is.
Yeah.
I love that part.
I know you
he's
do.
so
You're
dumb.
so garbage.
But then you start talking about there's any long-term successful video game movie? Probably not.
No.
I would say no.
Because I just watched Assassin's Creed, and that was
World of Warcraft didn't do it. Mario Brothers, none of these movies did it. It's hard to say. And don't come at us with Wreck-It Ralph or those aren't video game.
Those
movies.
aren't video game
those
movies.
Are video game movies.
Those are movies about
a video game culture. Ready Player One's not a video game movie.
People. No, it's about a book that was based off a dystopian thing that lets you be characters that were nostalgic. It's not a video game.
You know what? I'll take it back. So the only successful franchise was Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And it really didn't even connect to the video games at all. It was really more
after the first
one kind of did.
Yeah, after the first half an hour.
And the second one kind of did, and then it was done.
Yeah. No, it was.
So you get a total of one. Here's Raccoon City. Here's the mansion. That's all we're gonna give you. So I guess there has been a successful one.
Right. I will say
it wasn't good though.
Right. It's all your definition of what good, bad, and great are. To me, a bad movie is a movie that you walk out on, or that you just don't even bother finishing. There's only been a handful of video game movies that are like that, but there's been so many. I don't know, maybe it's just because I knew the lore, but I stuck through all of Street Fighter, and it hit me when I was a kid. It's a garbage movie. Mortal Kombat's
Mike, we're a Mortal Kombat house.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's really good. But then there are bad movies. Even though I love this guy and I'm a fan of it, and it's a guilty pleasure, you get movies like Doom that are just horrible, just so bad. And then you get your movies that are Tomb Raiders. You get your
Tomb Raiders are getting bad reviews. It's getting good. Problem is in this genre when you haven't had that one movie, it's hard to even be good's not good enough anymore. We want the movie that everyone agrees it's fun. Cause I think it's gonna be Rampage. That everyone's gonna leave being hey, no, this is the best video game movie because it took a video game that didn't need much to do with it.
And I would say this is.
And is that gonna count then?
But this is the problem that I think people have that they can't get their minds around. There's a difference between adapting a comic book, a book, and a video game. A book and a comic book have the advantage of a written story arc, the illustrations, just everything is there. A video game is so interactive. A lot of it is headcanon. A lot of it is the way you experience the game.
Yeah.
You could play one game. You can play Resident Evil 4 one way. I can play Resident Evil 4 another way and have two totally different
That's
experiences.
why Fallouts and games like Bioshock, they won't make great movies because a lot of it's based on decisions.
About what you've done, about what you're doing for the last 40 hours of your life. Marcos, our little brother right now, is playing Monster Hunter, which is a game that people spend hundreds of hours in. How do you make that into a movie.
Like look at
2 hours.
again, I look at it again from World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
No matter how good it looked, you're like, everyone plays so different.
It's
so
just a
how are we
different
gonna
experience.
like? I guess it's like that random little story. You're like, but that's not what I played it as.
Exactly.
So why?
But then when people are like, well, then how come Batman can have great movies? Because Batman has great stories.
He's had like 75 years of
and
stories.
you can adapt them in so many different ways. Like you could take The Killing Joke and you could adapt it point by point like they did on video and have a okay movie.
Yeah.
Or you could take the license of, I know what the story is. I know what the story arc is. Let me just put some of my own little sprinkle on there. And all of a sudden you have The Dark Knight.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to watch a Mortal Kombat movie now because I'm like, well, I'm a Scorpion fan. Like, I want to see him as the main character.
Right.
You're a stupid Sub-Zero fan because you're lame.
Yeah, I love Sub-Zero. I love Johnny Cage. Like, I want to see these guys be
But, like, Liu Kang's the main guy.
character,
And, like,
yeah.
it's just, I'm good.
I'm at the point now where I don't need... you know what? If you want to take a movie and be like, look it.
There's only one video game movie you can make right now that'll be that level, and it's The Last of Us.
And that's just because, but when you break down
And
The
that's
Last
because
of Us...
you have to get 2 great actors.
Right.
It already has a script, and it has zombies.
But here's the thing about... The Last of Us is one of these things where take everything away from it. Take the title, you basically have a Quiet Place.
Exactly.
So it's like...
Quiet Place meets Walking Dead.
Right. So it's like, it's very much like there's certain video games that take inspiration from movies, and movies take from video games because it's a universal story. Yep. But Assassin's Creed is so specific. War of Warcraft is so specific. Tomb Raider is so specific.
No, but like here's the thing, like we just said that about Last of Us, but like look at the redones of Tomb Raider nowadays has some of the best story in video games. How come that didn't work?
Because when I played the Rise of the Tomb Raider and the Tomb Raider, I'm actually really excited for the third one that they just previewed. But those again, it's a game about. So back in the 90s, Lara Croft was a very basic character. She was a hot polygon with unmentionable figures. Then you get the one that comes out here where it's like, it's a girl that gets literally beat up every single moment of her adventure. Tomb Raider is about the physicality of getting through by the skin of your teeth.
I think it comes down to acting. Do you think that Daisy Ridley would have sold more tickets?
Yes.
I think so, yes. I think it came out too close to Black Panther.
Yes, but Alicia Vikander's a better actress than.
But we don't need a good actress. We need someone recognizable.
I agree.
And to me, it wasn't separate enough where I'm like, oh no, the acting's real different. I'm like, no, obviously wants an Oscar winner, but like Daisy Ridley's great. Yeah. I think she sells more.
Yeah.
I think if it would have came out, I think it's just stacked times. Honestly, like Black Panther really screwed up a lot of people. When is a good time to drop a
Tomb Raider movie?
Tomb Raider movie?
When is a good time though? Like it's a big enough
end
IP.
End of summer.
Sure, but like
end of summer-ish.
But like this is
not March, not around the spring or summer season. Yeah. Probably the end of summer.
And you mentioned Last of Us, which I think it's a great premise.
Or honestly, drop it early, drop it January, pull a split.
There
is the only movie out there.
Maybe, but here's the thing: there's no movie in the universe right now. There's none other than Mario and Zelda. There's no video games out there that have the cachet that Halo did 10 years ago when they were talking about making a Halo movie.
I think you can still do a Halo movie.
Yeah, you still can, but like that's
just
what I'm saying.
For the nerds.
Remember that level? There's no video game there right now.
There's no mascot like that where you want to see it.
Like Last of Us is great because it has a cult following. Yeah. God of War has a cult following.
You do God of War.
But like think about that. There's no heavy hitter where you're like, that movie is whatever. They've been talking about Halo for 15
it's Mario
years
again.
Now.
It's Mario again.
It's Mario.
And now they're like, hey, we'll do an animated
Remember
Mario.
Zelda for a long time? People were like, oh, you can make Lord of the Rings. You can make Zelda.
You can't do
Zelda.
No.
Because again, that's an experience.
But no, I think you could do Zelda, but now you got to pick like
you got
to call it like Zelda Ocarina.
Yeah, it's got to be very specific.
I think you go Majora's Mask first.
Sure, but like you can't just be this is Zelda.
Like you do that, you do like 3 temples only. Yeah. Like you try to. That's the problem. Those games are long. Like,
but they're about temples and adventures. It's like Lord of the Rings.
You can do like 3 temples and a couple scenes. Like you could do it. Problem is also he's a voiceless character.
Yeah. Now I will say the best route that Nintendo's taking is allowing the animation of Mario become a thing with Illumination.
You have to.
Because that's the way to go.
Like
that's the way to do that character.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like Crash Bandicoot, him. Yes. Like those are characters. Just do animated. Like we don't need them real. They're not. They don't look real.
Put a little tenderness in it. Give it a little bit of love, and it'll make its money. It'll do what it's supposed to. If you can emanate Wreck-It Ralph, the first Shrek,
exactly.
Like, dude, this is right.
Well, exactly. We've seen him. Like even if it was just a little clip, we saw Mario in an animated movie. We're like, that looks normal.
That looks like
right.
It belongs. No, it looks.
Add
like
a little Crips to it. Give me a Yoshi. Give me a Peach. Give me a Luigi. A Bowser. I'm like, it's gonna be good.
And I think in this time of day and age, like, yeah, it's an investment, but It's time. If they're, this is at the end of the day, the statement to all studios is, if not now, then when? There is no more time than right now to get your IPs out because people are wanting them. People want the niche.
So I think that's going to be great for video game movies when Mario's going to go in production like in 2 years, year and a half. Yeah. So hopefully by 2019 we'll have a movie. 2020 maybe.
I don't think we need a Marvel-esque type of lineup of video game movies. We need once a year. Hey,
give me a Mario. Give me Mario 2. Give me Mario 3. Give me Super Mario World.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, Sony is producing a God of War movie. You're like, oh,
then you can do like a Yoshi's Island, a Kirby. Like, don't just rush it. Do a Super Smash Brothers movie. Man.
But then at the same time, don't pick shitty things because they're popular. Like, nobody needs a Call of Duty movie because guess what?
That's just a war movie.
Right, because it's just, guess what?
It's just a war movie.
Somebody will make a good war movie that I don't
Can anyone name one character in Call of Duty?
No, Pierce, because they've been mentioning that character for 10 years now.
Like, come on, man.
So
like, you can do a badass movie about like the future one, but like, I kind of ruined it because Kevin Spacey is the voice in it. So I
actually like the Vance Warfare.
That was a great story. And then you're like, oh, it's Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. And then they picked Jon Snow for the next one. It wasn't as good.
Yeah.
So
Kit Harington.
Yeah, I like Kit Harington. I can't wait for Game of Thrones. Alex, you know what, man? I think we've kind of broken it all down, especially with video game movies. A shout out again to Death by Film for kind of inspiring this. They went in depth with it, but I really wanted to get Alex's opinion about this simply because it is such a wanted genre, but at the same time, like, even though it's filled with so much lore, it's so hard to take that lore and produce 2 hours that's going to make $500 million and allow you a sequel.
Exactly.
So we've talked about WrestleMania. That's coming up in
2 weeks.
2 weeks. We're 10 days away as of a recording of the Chicago Cubs and all of MLB going to full swing. Is this the new trend? The Cubs, the powerhouse, the favorites in an even year are going to go ahead and win the World Series. We'll find out. We'll talk about that more as the year goes on. Okay, we'll go. Yes, that's the official stance of the show. The Cubs are going to win the World Series this year.
Probably win 167 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to get extra credit for some of them by winning by more than 10.
The Bears made some big moves. We talked about that last week. So
that's our next bet maybe for next week of Mike's Golden Boy being a dud.
Or a stud. You
a dud. No, Mike hates Jimmy Garoppolo, people.
I don't hate Jimmy Garoppolo.
Homeboy,
but he's
hometown hero, undefeated.
Shut up.
Tom Brady of San Francisco.
Shut up. Stop hating. Mitch Trubisky's the dude. Yeah, that's it, man. Anything you want to add on?
No, you keep asking me that, and I can always add on more, but I'm going to try to not add on more.
Last week we left off without talking about Stephen Hawking because, like, literally...
I mentioned him later in the show.
You mentioned
I'm a great producer.
You mentioned him.
I'm a great producer. That's why.
I see. Cool, Alex. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. You're at Mercado21 Alex.
And again, didn't know that till you told me that.
I'm at Mercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. We're on iTunes. Subscribe to us. iTunes.com/Mercado Airwaves. Along with SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/Mercado Airwaves. And, of course, Stitcher.com/Mercado Airwaves. Please support the show. You can find us on Patreon. Every single one of our shows that you hear, every one of our interviews are brought to you by our amazing producers at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. We're on YouTube, YouTube.com/MikeMercado2333. Be part of the conversation every single time we upload one of our shows. And, of course, follow us behind the scenes. Nicole's working on a new Instagram. But until then, Instagram.com/MikeMercado2333. Thank you again before we get out of here for supporting and giving us so much love for murder, mysteries, and more. We have a very cool episode coming up. Alex,
if you like women, you'll love this show.
Oh, she is such a party animal. It is going to be a great episode. We're going down to the good old state of Florida.
Daytona.
We will see you on the next episode here on The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves.
You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex.
Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.